After your win a couple nights ago against Louisiana Monroe, you talked about going from 16 days off to 2 games in 3 days. Considering that bounce back that you had, what were your overall thoughts about the way your team performed tonight?
I thought they played hard. I thought they fought hard, and that's one of the first things we talked about when we went in the locker room after the game is I loved our fight. And I thought Stephen F. played extremely well. They played a lot better than they have been playing. And we knew it was going to come because we knew they were capable of playing better. Stephen F. hit some great shots. But, I thought we got after it defensively. We created some turnovers. Stephen F. had 23 turnovers. I believe we had 10 today. I think that was a huge difference, and created some of those turnovers into transition baskets. And, that's when our offense, or I want to say our offense, we didn't have a lot of players that were really on today except Keena. Alicia struggled a little bit today, and some of our other players struggled, and we struggled a little bit from the free throw line, but we just played a gritty, hard-fought game.
You knew Stephen F. Austin was going to play hard. They did get you last year in Moody Coliseum. How much of your preparation for today's game was based on tape from last year as opposed to video of their games in the first part of this season?
I didn't even want to look at last year's game. There's this many games into this season. Our team is totally different from last year. Even though we've got a number of players back, it's a different team. This is a team that last year's team didn't have the fight that this year's team has, and that's a huge difference. But we're 10 games or so into the season, so you try and put the only thing that we remembered about last year is that they beat us. And that's what we were looking at is they beat us. They beat us here on our home court, and we knew they were going to come in. I got a lot of respect for their game, for what they do, and I thought it was a great, I thought it was a well-played game by both squads.
You mentioned Keena Mays, obviously 33 points tonight, 56 in her first 2 games. Most points by an SMU player in 11 years. When you've watched her in practice over the last year, did you think she would have this kind of an immediate impact?
Yes. No, there's no hesitation in that. I really did. You talk about 33 points. It's interesting, and I don't know what she had at half because I don't really look at the points. 18. She had 18 at half. They came out and face guarded her the second half, and she still ended up with 33 points. But part of that is you got to get the ball in her hands where she can score. We ran some backdoor calls for her. And got her, ran some isolation plays for her, and somebody who can create their own shot like that, you gotta let him go one-on-one, and that's what we did a couple of times, and also she got herself loose a little bit in transition. But the thing that I think surprises me the most is that second half I didn't rest her a whole lot, and this is only her second game in a year. I thought that. I was worried about her running out of gas a little bit, but you know what? Sometimes the adrenaline takes over and you forget about that. And she played hard to the end.
You've had 2 games in 3 days. You got another one on Saturday, but does she already have Conference Player of the Week wrapped up?
I don't know. I'm thinking about Wichita State right now, and because that's another team that beat us. But I'm going to tell you, she's going to make a lot of people turn their heads, no doubt.
All right. She had the great debut the other night against Louisiana Monroe, and then follows it up with 33 tonight. What did you talk to her between her first and second game in terms of what you were looking for from her as far as improvement?
Pick up your defense. She gets caught when she gets tired. She gets caught watching sometimes, or gets standing straight up and just working on her defense. And that's something, to be honest, from day one we've talked about. And you find that a lot with shooters and scorers, that sometimes they don't, I don't want to say they don't always play both ends, but sometimes they tend to rest more than you want them to. And part of it is they're working so hard offensively that most players rest on offense. Well, sometimes you got a player like Keena, she really can't rest on offense because she is a big part of our offense. So, but you can't rest on defense. So I guess I need to rest her a little more on the side, huh?
Your third home game in a week is going to be Saturday at noon against Wichita State. How much do you know about them? What do these first 2 games do in terms of getting you prepared and knocking off that exam rust to get ready for Wichita State Saturday?
Well, that's why I'm getting ready to talk to Lisa about that. She's doing the scouting report on Wichita State. I know they beat us pretty good there. I remember that game vividly. We did not we didn't show up. It was a game that we played very poorly. So you want to come back and you want to redeem yourselves, and this is the last of our home stretch and the last game before the holidays. You want to go into the holidays in a good mood, and you've got to work on our free throws and work on our rebounding a little bit. But when you play so many games back to back, or with very few days off, you can't come out here and you can't spend a lot of time going full, or you can't spend a lot of time running. You got to just kind of try and tweak some things.
You mentioned working on the rebounds. At times you started 3 guards tonight. At one point you had 4 guards out there tonight. When you have a smaller lineup and you're shooting a lot of shots from the perimeter, you did lose the rebounding battle tonight. Is that simply a byproduct of the lineup you're going with, and sort of a result you'll have to grit your teeth and accept more than you normally would like to? No coach likes to lose the rebounds, but...
No, I don't. I think they went with 4 guards too, Stephen F. And one of the areas that people don't realize, when we lost Brittany, when she's not playing this year, we lost our 5 player. We lost height. We lost a presence inside, and we're really small inside. We're not very big, and we got to play bigger than we are, and we got to keep ourselves out of foul trouble. We got to work harder defensively, but I just people don't realize that was a huge loss for us, and so we're probably going to go with 4 guards a little bit.